Hi there, we're looking at Google Classroom. Google created a front end for Google Drive so you can manage sharing and collaboration between teachers and students. So I'm in a teacher view at the moment, though the student view looks very similar to this, almost identical, apart from a couple of features. So what we're going to do in the teacher view is we're going to create a class. Okay, so we've got a class here and we've got three sections to it, starting with the About page. This is where you can add permanent information for the class. So that might be a syllabus, whether that's attaching it from an item on your computer, whether that's something you've got in your Google Drive, unlimited storage for education users, or whether that's a link to the exam board syllabus site. You can also invite other teachers. So if I wanted to co-teach this class, then I can invite a colleague. I could also invite teaching assistants, or in some cases I could even invite students as co-teachers if that were appropriate at the time. So once you're happy with your About page and it's got the permanent information on, you've invited your co-teachers, you can then get some students involved. So if the students have access to Google Classroom in front of you, then the easiest way to get them to join is to go to the plus on their home screen of Google Classroom and get them to add the join code in. So they type this code in and they become a member of the classroom. Alternatively, you can directly invite them and they'll get notified that you've invited them and they'll have the option to join when they go to their Google Classroom homepage. We're now going to jump into the stream. So at the moment there's nothing there, so let's add one of our four options, which is an assignment. You've also got announcements, you can ask questions or reuse posts you might have used in other classrooms elsewhere. So we're going to create an assignment. I'm not going to give it a due date on this occasion, but you can add a date for it to be completed by. It doesn't stop the students from doing it, but it does indicate to you when they're late. I'm going to add a topic. So this allows you to consolidate the stream. By the end of the year, when you've got quite a lot of different assignments going on, you can stream them down by topic. So I've got a document in my Google Drive which I'm going to use for this particular task. So if I search for you'll see I've got various different documents. So this is the one that was created earlier that I'm going to add. So I could just allow the students to view it. I could allow them to edit it, or I could make a copy for every single student in the class. So bye-bye to the photocopier as we click on this option here. We could attach a number of different other things to our assignment, whether that be PowerPoints that you've got relevant to the topic, other things in Google Drive, YouTube videos, or links to any relevant sites of any kind. If we're not ready to assign now, then we can either schedule it to go live just before the lesson, or we can save it as a draft if there's information we want to add at a later point. But I'm going to assign this now. So now we're going to jump over to the student view to see what they see and how they fill it out, and then we can jump back into the teacher view to see what happens once the assignment has been done. So now we can see the student view, and you should see that we've got a classroom here which we invited the student to join. So Sean, in this case, needs to click on join and will be enrolled into the classroom. If it's your first visit to Classroom, you get these instructions. We're going to skip over them. You'll also see that Google's asking for ways to improve Classroom too. So if we scroll down a bit, you'll see slightly different to the teacher view where it had the number of done and not done. We've just got Healthy Body an option to open. So if we open this assignment as a student, it's creating a copy of that document that I put in a moment ago, and now we can see that Sean's got his own copy of the document. If there was other additional information he wanted to add to this assignment, he can add anything else from his Google Drive, links, or documents on his computer, or you could directly create a new document here. So it could be that he thinks slides is a better way of doing this task, so he could create a slides document in his Google Drive to go along with it, which would automatically be visible to the teacher. So if we go to Sean's document here, we can add a little bit of information in. So how many portions of fruit and veg are we recommended to eat per day? So Sean might know this, or he might want to do some checking. So I'm just going to go to Tools and then to Explore to open up a Google search. So it's Safe Search enabled on the right hand side. So recommended fruit and veg per day. Let's see what comes up. So I'm going to open up and I'm going to have a read as a student of this article here. Okay. Currently, so as you can see, I've taken a bit of information from the article and put it here. So if I wanted to reference that, so it was this article here. So I'm going to put my cursor at the end of the bit of information I've done. I'm going to hover over the Cite as Footnote icon, because that's where I got my information from, and you see a little footnote has appeared there at the bottom of the page. It's got the reference to where I got my information from. So at an early age, you can be using Google Docs to get students to get into good habits of citation. We've also got a drawing here, so if I double click on that, I can edit the drawing and start to add my answers in. I can save my drawing and off we go. Once I'm happy, I can turn in the document, but we're just going to pause for a moment and switch back to the teacher view to see what they see so far. So we're back in the teacher view and we're going to open up this assignment from the teacher's point of view. We're going to see how Sean's getting on. So there, what we can see exactly what Sean's been writing. We can see where Sean is at the moment, and it gives us an opportunity as a teacher to highlight and add a comment. And that gives us the opportunity early on in the document to influence their work that the student's doing, not just waiting for the completed piece of work to happen. We can also use the comment here to say and if you wanted to, we could even add a link in that would take them to somewhere relevant where they could get information that they might be missing. Or it might be that we put the resources in Google Classroom anyway. So that's the teacher point of view. And once the student submits their work, we can have a look at the grading option. So you see that Sean's got the comment from the teacher. That means that Sean can reply. And that dialogue can start between the student and the teacher. So let's assume that he decides to turn this in. He's now taken back into Google Classroom, and you'll see that his work is submitted. If we go back into this document, he's only allowed to view the piece of work from this point onwards. He could choose to unsubmit if he wanted to make any changes, but it's down to now the teacher to have a look at the piece of work. So you'll see that it's switched to done. I'm going to change the number of points automatically awarded in Google Classroom to 4. So in my experience, I used 1 as why even hand it in, and 4 as that is superb and brilliant. And as you may have noticed, Sean hasn't quite finished. So I'm going to return it to him now with a bit of advice about what he can do. So there's a basic introduction to Google Classroom, which enables teachers to easily distribute pieces of work collaboratively with the students, and manage the returns and the piece of work from the very beginning.